Hi everyone, I'm Linda Reimer, one of the librarians at the Southeast Bend County Library. Welcome to Library Connections, our weekly readers, viewers, and listeners advisory video cast. Enjoy. Library Connections number 93. This is the Friday, March 25th, 2022 edition of Library Connections. And hooray, it's finally spring. Kicking things off with the top 5 fiction bestsellers for this week from the New York Times. At number 1, The Match by Harlan Coben, the second book in the Wild series. Questions surface when Wild connects with family members who have been out of his life. At number 2, Run, Rose, Run by Dolly Parton and James Patterson. A singer-songwriter goes to Nashville seeking stardom, but is followed by her dark past. At number 3, It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. A battered wife, raised in a violent home, attempts to halt the cycle of abuse. At number 4, Verity by Colleen Hoover. Loan Ashley is hired by the husband of an injured writer to complete her popular series, and she uncovers a horrifying truth. And at number 5, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. A movie icon recounts stories of her loves and career to a struggling magazine writer. Moving on to the top 5 nonfiction bestsellers for this week. At number 1, One Damn Thing After Another by William P. Barr. The former Attorney General for George H.W. Bush and Donald Trump gives his account of those two tenures. At number 2, The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk. How trauma affects the body and mind, and innovative treatments for recovery. At number 3, Lessons from the Edge by Marie Yovanovitch. The former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine chronicles her career in the post-Soviet world and her testimony during the first impeachment of President Trump. At number 4, In Love by Amy Bloom. After her husband's Alzheimer's diagnosis, the author travels with him to Dignitas, a prominent Swiss Right to Die organization. And at number 5, The Splendid and the Vile by Erik Larson. An examination of the leadership of the Prime Minister Winston Churchill. Our first recommended read for this week is the new historical mystery, Death at Greenway by Lori Rader Day. In 1941, trainee nurse Bridget Kelly, the heroine of this richly nuanced mystery from Mary Higgins Clark Award winner Rader Day, is mourning the bombing deaths of her mother and siblings when she makes a medication dosing mistake that kills a man. Her supervisor assigns her to care for children being evacuated from London and promises that if she does well, her training can resume. With 10 infants and toddlers, and a fellow nurse who says her name is also Bridget Kelly, but who goes by Gigi, Bridget travels to Greenway, the Devon holiday home of author Agatha Christie, which is empty except for staff, while Christie and her husband do war work. Gigi is unreliable and faints at the sight of blood, but her effervescence helps lighten Bridget's sadness and self-doubt. When a strangled corpse is found in a nearby river, Bridget recognizes it as a man who she discovered wandering in Greenway's garden one morning. Soon afterward, Gigi disappears. Through multiple viewpoints, Raider Day nicely evokes the isolation and dislocations of people in World War II Britain, while revealing her character's complexities. Despite the many allusions to Christie's life and work, she eschews an artificially neat conclusion. Fans of both Christie and Raider Day will relish this. And that's the Starred Publishers Weekly Review. Our second recommended read for this week is another historical mystery. This one is set during the Revolutionary War. It's called The Turncoats Widow by Molly Becker. Philip Parcell was spying for England before he realized that he could make more money selling the names of his fellow spies to General George Washington of the Colonial Army. Caught by British soldiers in the middle of this endeavor, Philip dies aboard the British ship Jersey, but not before he beseeches fellow prisoner, Daniel Alloway, to locate Philip's wife Becca and the list of spies' names. Daniel cleverly escapes the Jersey and heads to Morristown, New Jersey, in search of Becca, more out of a desire for money than any moral obligation. Becca, meanwhile, is living with her mother-in-law, Lady Augusta, when rumors that she ratted out her husband begin to spread through town. This, in turn, leads Washington to ask her to spy for him in New York in exchange for protection. Soon Daniel agrees to help under the condition that he receive free passage to make, as he puts it, a fresh start somewhere far from here. Becca and Daniel travel to New York City, where they resume their search for the list, and maybe find some romance along the way. They're accompanied by Lady Augusta and Annie, the Parcells' servant. In her debut novel, Becker's shining prose pairs well with historical details, such as how New York City became an epicenter for Loyalists due to its British occupation. Familiar figures such as Washington and Alexander Hamilton appear alongside fictional players. The relationship between Daniel and Becca has plenty of charm. Becca is shown to be a fierce, smart, and often brave woman who never fit into the society into which she married, while Daniel is painted as clever and humorous, even as he grapples with a traumatic past. Becker's secondary characters are also distinctively portrayed, such as gang leader John Mason, who has ears shaped like pitcher handles. Overall, Becker's thrilling romantic story will appeal to lovers of early American history. A compelling tale of revolutionary times with charming main characters. And that's the Kirkus review. And I have to laugh. The first time I saw that shaped like pitcher handles description, I thought they were saying that his ears look like pitchers hanging on a wall, the frames. No, they mean water pitcher handles. That's kind of funny. Our first audiobook recommendation for this week is a contemporary thriller. It's called The Club by Ellery Lloyd. And if you look closely there at the book cover, it says, "Everyone's dying to join." This masterly thriller from the pseudonymous Lloyd effectively delays, revealing who among the large cast of characters has died violently. Ned Groom has created exclusive clubs around the world for the elite of the elite who pay huge sums to have their every whim catered to. Groom has just launched his most spectacular branch yet on a private island 90 minutes from London, accessible by car only by a causeway at low tide. Its amenities include Poseidon, a fishbowl-like restaurant with views of the surrounding sea. The prologue, in which two unidentified people in a Land Rover, halfway across the causeway, realize they aren't going to make it as the tide rapidly rises, is followed by a Vanity Fair article, Murder on the Island, which describes Poseidon patrons noticing a submerged Land Rover and its grim contents outside the restaurant window. That development, and the discovery of a body on the island, turned the party of the year into the murder mystery of the decade. Flashbacks provide an array of suspects and motives. Lloyd, husband and wife writing team Colette Lyons and Paul Viltos make the reader care about even unappealing characters, and the payoff is completely satisfying. Fans of Ruth Ware's One by One will be riveted. And that's the Starred Publishers Weekly Review. Our second audiobook recommendation for this week is the new novel, The Letter from Briarton Park, by Sarah E. Ladd. The audio is read by Jude Mason. This is the first book in a series, by the way, and Ladd kicks off this series, which is called Houses of Yorkshire, with a captivating regency. Cassandra Hale was raised in a house for girls and believes herself an orphan until she receives an astonishing letter from a stranger summoning her to Briarton Park for information about her family. However, the letter is over 2 years old, its writer is dead, and Briarton Park is now in the hands of widower James Warrington. James knows nothing of Cassandra, but he agrees to help her in her quest for answers. After Cassandra proves her mettle by rescuing James's sister from the clutches of a rejected suitor, James offers her a position as governess to his children. The town's vicar, Mr. North, also befriends Cassandra and warns her of asking too many questions in her investigation. Tensions ramp up when a man who sought to ensure Cassandra's inheritance, per her late father's will, is murdered, making it clear that someone wants Cassandra's parentage to stay secret. James and Cassandra's friendship blossoms into romance as they uncover the truth and learn that people are not always who they seem. Ladd balances mystery and romance to create a light but satisfying story. Readers will look forward to the next in the series. Our first streaming recommendation for this week is the classic film Gattaca from 1997. I'm astonished to find that this film actually came out 25 years ago now. It doesn't seem that long, but I guess it has been. But I'm digressing. The film Gattaca is directed by Andrew Niccol and stars Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman. You can stream it for free from Netflix if you have a subscription, or rent it from any of the usual online stores. And let me tell you a little about the plot. In this thoughtful drama that emphasizes the science in science fiction, the writer and director Andrew Niccol dramatizes a not-too-distant future in which privileged children are genetically engineered before birth. This handsome and fully imagined work, as the original New York Times reviewer put it, is unapologetically brainy in a manner reminiscent of 2001: A Space Odyssey and THX 1138, daring to imagine that provocative ideas are just as thrilling as chases and shootouts. But it's not just a think piece. Nicole works playfully within the conventions of not only dystopian sci-fi, but also mystery and film noir, throwing in a dash of other side of the tracks romance for extra spice. And that overview is by Jason Bailey for the New York Times. And this is a neat, intelligent sci-fi film. Cerebral is the word I'd use. If you tend to like that kind of stuff, which I do, I'm not a big fan of what I would call wham-bam action sci-fi films where there's tons of special effects and maybe the science isn't there and the plot isn't there so much. I know lots of people like those, but I like intelligent sci-fi, cerebral sci-fi, and this is one of those films. Moving on to our second streaming recommendation for this week. It's the 2001 film Heist, and I'm going to again say, holy cats, how could this have been out more than 20 years ago now? But it was. This movie was directed by David Mamet and stars Gene Hackman, Rebecca Pidgeon, and Danny DeVito. This one can also be streamed from Netflix or any of the usual online stores. David Mamet, the Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright, and most often, director of intimate chamber pieces, tried his hand at action filmmaking for the first time in this crime thriller that A.O. Scott deemed a solid entertainment. The story is an old chestnut. A master thief, played with stern confidence by Gene Hackman, wants to sail off into the sunset, but is pressed into doing one last big score by his frequent fence, who insists that his hot-headed nephew come along. But Mamet crafts the picture with wit and winking intelligence. We know the beats of a movie like this, and he knows that we know. So while the details of the job and its subsequent betrayals and double crosses are both familiar and ingenious, his quotable dialogue and the explosive chemistry of the top-tier cast, which also includes the great character actors Delroy Lindo and Ricky Jay, keeps things hopping. And that's the New York Times review of the film. Our final streaming recommendation for this week is the new mystery series Archive 81 Season 1. This one does have some horror elements to it, so if you don't like horror in your mystery, just be aware. This series stars Mahmoud Athi, Dina Shahabi, and Evan Jonikite. You could stream it now from Netflix, and it is a Netflix original series, so right now you're only going to be able to stream it from Netflix. Based on a podcast, this spooky mystery series has Mahmoud Athi playing Dan Turner, an archivist specializing in examining and logging damaged and outdated media. Dina Shahabi plays Melody Pendrass, a journalist who in the mid-1990s, before she disappeared, was investigating the connections between a mysterious cult and an apartment building. As Dan digs into Melody's videotapes, he discovers links to his own tragic history. Archive 81 tells a haunting and sometimes surreal story, drawing on the power of old films and tapes to preserve lost people and forgotten worlds. For another intense show about strange, intricate conspiracies, try the Umbrella Academy. And that's the New York Times overview of the series. Moving on to our Hoopla recommendation for this week. This week I'm going to recommend the Great Courses Video Binge Pass. Now if you're not familiar with Hoopla Binge Passes, it's a fancy term, and what it means simply is that you can access a whole collection of videos and it counts as one of your monthly checkouts. So if you were to go to the Hoopla website or through the Hoopla app and click borrow or tap borrow if you're on a phone for the Great Courses Video Library collection and log in, you would have access to all the videos in that collection for 1 week. And the Great Courses, as you may know, they have some really cool lectures, and it's neat stuff, so check it out. And starting this week, I've got a new section of Library Connections. It's called Next Week at the Library. And you guessed it, this is going to be a brief listing of the events and activities that you can enjoy through the library, on-site and online, for the week ahead of us. For this edition of Library Connections, that would be the week of March 28th to April 2nd, 2022. And you can also find this information through the library's website. And on a beginning note, registration is required for programs unless otherwise specified. And you can register for programs through the library's website by calling the library or by contacting the library contact for each program, which is information I've got at the end of this section. So having said that, let's see what's going on at the library on Monday, March 28th. On Monday, March 28th, there's actually only one program at the library and the event is full, but I'm going to tell you a little about it because it's a neat ongoing series. It's called Crafting with Kimberly. And with this series, there's two components. There's a craft component and there's an online component. So you stop by the library and register for the program, and then you pick up a kit of crafting materials and take that home. And on the evening of the program, you go online to Zoom and you'll see Kimberly, and she'll show you how to create the craft of the month. So it's really quite fun. And these programs fill up quickly, so if you're interested in crafting, check them out. Check our calendar of events. And to register for this series of programs, the quickest way is to click on the link. You'll see here under at the 28th at the top underneath the orange ball, it says Event Full, but you would click on the title of that event, and then a registration page will come up, and you can register right online. On Tuesday, March 29th, we've got 4 programs at the library, starting with the Adult Scrabble program, which runs from 9 to 11 a.m., and this program is held in the library's reading room, so it's on site. Then we have Coffee, Tea, and English online vocabulary from 9:15 to 10:15 a.m. This is a Zoom program, so you have to register for the program, and then you'll get the Zoom link from your hostess, Mary Alice Little. At 10 a.m., we have Miss Sue's online story time, and the location of this is the Southeast Steuben County Library's Facebook page, and of course, everyone is welcome. And then at 10:30 to 11 a.m., we have Coffee, Tea, and English online conversation, which is also a Zoom program. On Wednesday, March 30th, we've got 2 programs at the library, both hosted by Michelle Wells, who is a busy lady on Wednesdays. We have Mahjong from 1 to 3 in the afternoon. That is a program held at the library. And then from 6 to 8 p.m., there's the Corning Adult Writers Group, which is a hybrid program. You have to register for this program, and it's held both at the library and via Zoom. So once you register, you'll get the Zoom link, or you can come in person. On Thursday, March 31st, 2022, we've got 1 program at the library. It's the Coffee, Tea, and English Book Club online, and that runs from 10 to 11:30 a.m. On Friday, April 1st, we have 3 events to bring to your attention. The first is the debut of the monthly book review by Michelle Wells. You can access the review via the Story Musings blog, found at storymusing.blogspot.com on April 1st and anytime thereafter. Then at 10 o'clock, we have Science Time with Miss Abby. The location of that is Facebook Live, and that's available for anyone to watch through the Southeast Steuben County Library's Facebook page. And then from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m., we have the young adult program, Crochet 101 with Philomena Jack. And our last program for the week, which is being held on Saturday, April 2nd, is Poetry Responds. This is a Zoom program. It's going to run from 2 to 3:30 p.m. The library contact is Michelle Wells, and this is a program about using poetry to respond to life, to historical events, and indeed anything that moves us. So if you're a writer, check out Poetry Responds from 2 to 3:30 on Saturday, April 2nd. If you have questions about this weekly videocast, let me know. You can send me an email at reimerl@stls.org. That's REIMERL at stls.org. Library hours. The library is open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., on Saturday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., and we are closed on Sundays. The library's website is found at ssclibrary.org. You can find a whole host of useful information on our website. To offer you a Cliff Notes version today, I'm just going to talk about 3 sections of our homepage that will allow you to access cool stuff. The first is the link that says Calendar on our homepage. If you click that or tap it, you'll be redirected to our calendar of events, where you can register for programs and see what's going on both in the library and also the remote programming we have. If you click on the word Catalogs, a menu will open that will allow you to access all the library's catalogs for both physical content like print books and digital content like eBooks. And then if you click on the Resources menu link, seen at the top of the page there, also bordered in red, a menu will open. And you can do a bunch of stuff through that menu. You can register to vote. You can access anti-racism resources. But today I want to direct you to the Research and Learning page on our website. So that's the third option on the Resources menu, Research and Learning. And if you click or tap that, the Research and Learning page will display. And this lists some of the most popular databases that we offer, otherwise known as online research resources, but I find that a mouthful. So basically these are credible research resources, which I'm going to refer to as databases from now on. And these are available to you as a card holder, but they're not free to everyone everywhere. You get them as a card holder, but the library and/or the library system pays for these. And through our website, through the Research and Learning page on our website, you find some of the most popular ones you can access, including Mango Languages, if you want to learn another language, even pirate, and the Heritage Quest resource or database, and that's for genealogical research. And those are great resources. And if you're going to do really in-depth research, though, you want to go all the way down to the bottom of the page. In the last little paragraph there, it says, would you like to find more databases and resources? And then below that little paragraph in purple, it says, find the complete list of STLS databases here. That's the link you want to click on if you're doing in-depth research. It's going to redirect you to the databases page on the STLS website. And you see a photo of the top portion of that page on the right side of your screen. So here we see a large portion of the list of databases that you can access for in-depth research on tons of topics: criminal justice, the culinary arts, diversity, gender studies. There's a health database. If you want to do health research, there's one on opposing viewpoints. If you have to write a paper on a subject that has 2 sides to the story, which is usually the case, you can look at that. There are several academic resources if you're a college or high school student doing research. There's even one on gardening and landscaping, on the hospitality industry, and a home improvement collection too. So lots of stuff on the STLS databases page, which you can access through our website or You can go directly to that page by typing www.stls.org/databases into your web browser. STARCAT and the Bookmine app. STARCAT is the catalog of physical library materials available to all card holders of the public libraries in the Southern Tier Library System, otherwise known as STLS. STLS encompasses the public libraries in Steuben, Chemung, Yates, Schuyler, and Allegheny counties. You can access STARCAT online at starcat.stls.org. That's starcat.stls.org. Or, as you might imagine, there's an app for that. It's called Bookmine, and it's spelled a little differently. It's Bookmyne, and that will give you direct access to STARCAT through your mobile device, and you can find the Bookmine app in your app store. The digital catalog and its companion app Libby. The digital catalog too is available to all card holders of all Southern Tier Library System member libraries, and you can find it online at stls.overdrive.com, or you can download the Libby app found in your app store to your mobile device. The digital catalog features eBooks, audiobooks, and a handful of streaming videos. Hoopla. The Hoopla catalog features eBooks, comic books, full-length albums, downloadable audiobooks, and streaming videos, including both TV shows and movies. All Hoopla items are available for instant checkout for Southeast Steuben County Library card holders with a maximum of 6 checkouts per month. And if you're listening to this and you're thinking and watching this and you're thinking, well, why is it just for Corning Library card holders or SSC Library card holders? That's because this particular service, Hoopla, is one that the Southeast Steuben County Library pays for. The others, the digital catalog and of course STARCAT, are collection-wide catalogs, and all member libraries contribute to them. So that's what the difference is. If you want to check out the Hoopla catalog online, you go to hoopladigital.com, and of course there's an app, Hoopla, for your mobile device. Communicating with the library. If you have questions about library services, you are welcome always to go the traditional route and simply give us a call. The library's phone number is 607-936-3713. You can also connect with the library through social media. The library has pages on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Library blogs. The library has 5 blogs we'd like to draw your attention to. There's the Book Club for Adults blog, which is found at SSCLbook.club, and is pretty much what you would expect. It's information about the monthly book club for adults. There's the Corning NY History blog, which is our local history blog, which is found at corningnyhistory.com. Creation Stationery, the Creative Makerspace blog, found at creationstationery.com. Story Musings, a blog hosted by the library's resident author and head of adult services, Michelle Wells, which is found at storymusings.blogspot.com. And Tech and Book Talk, a readers, viewers, and listeners advisory blog, which you may have guessed is hosted by yours truly, which is found at sscltech.com. And briefly, our references of the week and our catalog information. And that's the program for this week. I'll be back next week with a new edition of Library Connections. Have a great week.